What's going on, everybody? Here to get you back on some more insight, tackling a couple questions today. All right, so freedom of speech in the literary sense. What are your thoughts on it? Interesting question. Because I'm here in America. I'm maybe not. I know I'm a little bit educated that the freedom of speech is something that is a good right that America has, and I think it opens up some real honest customs, social customs that have to be followed, that it's really not true freedom, but what it means is it's to not get harm or something that can lock you up for saying, you know what I mean? And that's interesting. But at the same time, we do have kind of a self-regulation on it. You can't, nowadays, especially if you're going to write something really, old and, just brutally racist or, xenophobic or something, it may be received okay in some type of isolated sect that you're considering, but it's one of those moves that could ostracize you and isolate you from the rest of society now too. People get fired all the time for Facebook posts. You're writing every time you're on Facebook. I mean, think about some of those comments on some of these socio-political Facebook groups. People are really devoting their life experiences to a comment, you know what I mean? So yeah, people, and they see where you're working, they're gonna be calling jobs if your ideas are way out of line with what they think that you should be doing in your service. And that's how it is right now. You can't, we're not hiding behind walls socially anymore, you have to keep mindful of all the ways that you can be interpreted now. And I think I might have touched a little bit on that before, but really what it was about is just that I was saying it's just you have to have more responsibility for your image and your thoughts. And are you putting out clean shit? For real. That's what it is. And you got to be able to answer that, and answer that to multiple people and your boss if you're out there, throwing out wild shit. For me in particular, I have a certain amount of accountability too. I think I'm pretty recognizable where I'm at. In LA, people are they just see me. So I can't. If I'm out there we should. All the teachers should get hung or something. People are like, what the fuck? I'm not gonna even associate with that character. He may be a cool guy, but that's what the fuck he's spitting out on his. He has a whole channel devoted to that. That's out of sync. It's kind of antisocial. For sure, it's antisocial. So that's the thing. You have to write. With the freedom of speech, and really, even if it is legal, wherever you're at, you can write whatever the fuck you want. You can get yourself a notebook and some index cards and write that shit. It can't really be regulated. And it's only that if it gets published and, it gets out and you're known as the writer for it, can it come to harm you. And that's why writing is it's like mental graffiti, man. That shit's tight. We're hitting up people's minds and shit, and they want to make it, they want it to be regulated, everybody has to have this clean, pristine thing. But, if you get known as a powerful writer, it's still kind of like getting known as a powerful graffiti artist or something, It's kind of, it's just its own beast. So, that's kind of, it's powerful. Think about it. People have been persecuted for writing, persecuted for speeches and ideas, and persecuted for storytelling and having a story and a perspective and moving forward. So it's all very serious shit, and that's why as a society, we take it serious and make sure all of our children are able to read and write by a certain age, because hey, these are the things that are going to keep you in line with how to move in society, and you got some work to do to catch up, you know? Hell, and so you can tell who's been doing the work and who hasn't. And that goes at any age, man. You'll see people that are 55, 60. And I was like, dang, you ain't. All right, you haven't caught that one yet, huh? And you're not going to, probably, if you're not reading on your own a little bit more, because 18 years ain't enough, you know, and it's really like forced on you a little bit. But yeah, that's freedom of speech in a literary sense. Sorry, that kind of went way more political than. It wasn't even political. I didn't have any perspective on it, but it's just like, I'm just saying it is a powerful force. So second question for today, what can an aspiring screenplay writer do who has a story but no resources to produce anything? So if you have a story, you pretty much have a lot already. You know how many executives and stuff, they're looking for stories, you know? And they're looking for somebody that has a lot of stories, and can produce them in quick, easy, efficient quality that's well received, you know? Like, having a story is the PowerPoint. So, like, you don't look at it as you have no resources. You have the most important resource, which is your mind and your idea and your story, your storytelling. Because the thing about storytelling is, everybody, you know, like, if you get out here and you start having conversations and you're looking around, everybody has something that they're dying to say. Everybody. Whether they're bagging your groceries, whether they're sitting on the floor outside asking for money, whether they at the red light, stopped on their way to work, coming back from work, going to where they're, you know, everybody has something that's like just, it's boiling in them. And that's why people really appreciate people that can set themselves aside and see what's boiling in you and try to like bring it, all right, so bring it out a little bit. Come here, you know, like that if you can do that socially, it's always going to attract people. And storytelling is a way for some people that do have something that's burning inside of them to get it out a little bit, you know? Maybe it's not their story exactly, but damn, they might relate so hard to it, you know? So hard to about making right decisions, or, you know, a lot of the humanity behind the story that you have, because you're a person. You're going through things and you have something that had an arc that you see, you know? And just having to have the story, fill it out. You know, I just came off of a really, really good writing session last night. You know, we have a live stream up on about it, but we got some really good work done, and we figured out like just segments of where the story was, because we had a beginning, we had an ending, but then filling in this journey, it's just like, oh wow, that's great, you know. And then from there, you can do anything. If you don't have enough resources to make a film, write the story at least. Publish the script. If you don't even want to do a script first, write it as a short story. Publish the short story and sell the short story. You know, and just run with it. Run with your story. Geez, just found out that there's a hole right here. It just ripped. That's unfortunate, but. Anyway, yeah, get your story pinned down, get your screenplay written, get your script, get your first draft, and then from there, like, you'll see that you already have a lot of resources, you know, just to make something happen, because then you can tweak a story. You can get other people's input on it, and then they may have some of the resources you don't have. But in the meantime, work on getting some type of production or in-game distribution in line for what you want to practice too. If you don't want to shoot films, maybe you can at least learn about what to do when they're finished, you know, or you could learn about the promotional aspect, or you could learn about film review blogs and how that hustle goes, you know. But start to learn something else so that you do have more resources and you are building towards that too. I mean, hell, or you could even learn how to shoot films too. That's just know that it's going to take time and its own dedication of experience too, but having a story is something that can bring you into that too. You know, this last documentary we just finished up, just to give you guys like how raw, you don't need even a laptop or a phone. He literally wrote all of the story on this 4-hour documentary on like 200 index cards. And he had I just had a few for the opening credits and the opening voiceover lines, and then what key parts I wanted to tell of each person's story. And then from that, 200 cards later, you got 4 hours, and we had to cut that down to like an hour and 40 minutes. But, you know, and it's just index cards and the thought. And all he did was he grew up a certain way and knew who he could talk to get some of the input on what they all went through, and then reinterpreted it and went out, made it happen, and then put it all together, you know? So that's how powerful storytelling is. It's a really universal human thing, and hopefully throughout this video you kind of see, you know, the different, you know, ways that kind of takes off. Sorry, I'm kind of wrapping it up here, winding out, but no, yeah, great questions. We'll have more. Please like, subscribe, and yeah, if you have any questions, send them in the email. We got the Patreon. We're starting to roll out some of the exclusive videos on there. It's been fun, you know. I definitely want to release this series of short stories through different mediums, you know. Patreon being one of them, YouTube, you know, maybe some stuff on Amazon too. But yeah, no, we're just grinding it out. So come catch a glimpse behind the scenes, and yeah, subscribe. We'll talk soon.